Mr. Randy Duck, and welcome back for another video. And today we've got two replays to show you in the Tier 10 Chinese Premium Tank Destroyer, the 114 SP2. Now the first replay we have to show you today is here on Swamp, where there is no enemy light tank, and more importantly, no enemy fun police, no sky vermin to deal with today. Now if you want to see the crew and equipment setup I'm running in this tank, you'll be able to see it at the bottom of the screen as I speak. But initially we're going to go and try and push up to this sort of B6 area, see if we can get any shots on any tanks crossing, work out what's where, and then go from there. So as we make our advance, you see an enemy tank destroyer get spotted. That tank is almost like a light tank if you weigh. It's got light tank mobility. So we've got to be a little bit careful of that tank, because it's going to take the top, it's going to take the A area, and that's going to potentially light us, to be honest with you. So we need to be conscious of that tank. If we're able to take him out, it will be fantastic. So it looks like he's made a mistake though, and thankfully gets shut down nice and early, which is good news for us, because with no light tanks in the game, he's almost like a light tank. So that's one of their sort of vision tanks removed, so that's always helpful. Now got to be a little bit careful with the enemy Murat, who's pushed up into the middle in the sort of the E6 area. He's going to be lighting all of our tanks on the ridge, sort of stopping them from shooting. So I'd like to try and deal with that tank if I can, but I can't deal with it from here. I'm probably going to have to push over and try and get underneath the enemy ridge. But for the time being, with my friendly tanks pushing forward, I'm just going to see if I can shoot anything on that hill when it gets detected, and see if we can start this game by picking up a bit of damage. But that doesn't seem to be the case, so we're going to make the decision now to move forward and try and get into a better position to get some damage, with our friendly tank already sort of pushing along this side as well. So as we make our advance, you see an enemy tank destroyer does get spotted on the hill. I think they've fired, so I'm going to take my opportunity here to just try and make my approach. I take a snapshot on the move. A little bit risky, because I do get detected for that. Unfortunately, thankfully I don't take any damage for it. Unfortunately, the shot doesn't pen, and I've got to be careful now, because I want to kill this heavy tank. You can see my left, but with that enemy Murat being there, I don't have a safe way to shoot that tank from this side at this moment. So I'm going to be a little bit patient. My heavy tanks come in, then I will just go around and try and kill this tank, because I want to try and get underneath the ridge, because once I get underneath the ridge on my left, I can then potentially have shots and Murats, and it gives him less places to play safe. Enemy Nemesis gets detected, and we put a shot into him. So far, you say we've managed to keep our hit points. So heavy tank's gone in now. I think the Murat has just dubbed this clip, so I'm going to try and move in and just get rid of this tank. But we can't stay here. We're going to have to go in. We've got 3 tanks together. We can kill this tank very quickly, and that means we'll take less damage actually by committing and going in than we would sitting there in the open. So we're going to try and shut this tank down before he fires. We do, and we confirm that kill, picking up our first kill of the game and putting us into 1,500 damage. But this game is far from won. It's very even at this point. We do actually have a lot of tanks behind us, and about 3 tanks going towards our base. So I don't really see the sense of moving at the moment, because I can't really, because that enemy Murat, like I say, was still playing that position on the right hand side. I'm going to need to be a little bit patient on this one, and you see we can try and get some shots in if this Murat makes a mistake, or maybe this enemy French heavy tank, which looks like he might even try and cross up that hill, and if he does, I'm going to be in a position to put a nice shot into him. So I'm going to wait here. Got decent concealment in this tank, which is nice, and I actually really enjoy this gun. The 650 Alpha gun is quite a nice change of pace from all those really heavily Alpha TDs, but we put a nice shot into him and pick up a kill, because we set him on fire, and that's put us into a decent position. It's still a very, very tight game at the moment, but the enemy Murat has moved up, as you can see, and he might have put himself in an awkward situation here, because if he tries to leave, we hopefully can put a shot into him as he escapes, and he's a potential one-shot to us here. So I'm going to sort of wait and see if we can get that shot. Now we do pick up the shot, we pen, and we pick up a kill the dangerous tank. But as you can see, there's about 4 tanks coming around on our left. Thankfully we are at full hit points, and we're going to need them. We put a shot into the enemy pattern there, puts them onto a 1, hopefully our friendly heavy tank can finish him off, and he does. That's good news for us. And we're just going to try and tuck in and hope our tank destroyer on the sort of B8 line can cover us here. We are going to need the assistance of our friendly tanks, you know, putting shots in as they come around on us. Enemy terrain comes around, you know, he bounces. Now that bounce was huge because he would have actually, you know, put us on, you know, half hit points because, you know, the terrain is completely balanced. But thankfully, you know, we managed to avoid eating that shot. We put one into the Polish heavy tank here, tucking right round, you know, just to try and avoid him shooting us for as long as possible. But I need to try and take care of him. We put a shot into him. He does put one back into us, but we will have the kill now. So we're going to try and finish this tank off before the enemy terrain comes around to try and get a shot into us. Now, terrain puts one into us here, putting us onto a one shot, which is not great. But somehow we managed to survive that engagement. Now, I don't think the terrain can poke all the way around now because of our friendly TDs pushing up to the A sort of 9 area. And I think he's trying to run. So I'm just going to go back up to this ridge, see if I spot him leaving. Maybe I can put a shot into him. I think he's a bit much for a one shot. If I swap to the HE rounds though, it could be a potential one shot. But I haven't done so just because I don't know, you know, there's only E3 there as well. And I might find I ended up not needing the HE shell. But as it looks like it, you know, I think there's an E3 below it, and it kind of also looks like this terrain is going to cross, and we're going to try and put a shot into this terrain as he makes his cross there. His turret wasn't turned, so we managed to pull back into cover before we can get his shot in, and we're hoping to pull back and reload because he's making a beeline to us at this point. You know, thankfully he misses his shot, and we're able to finish him off, picking up our 5th kill of the game, putting us on to about just shy of 7,000 damage with sort of 700 assistance, 1,300 block, and there's one enemy tank remaining, which is a grill. He is a one shot. It'd be nice if we can get a shot in, pick up our top gun, but ultimately I'm not going to be able to get over there before our team kills him. So that is going to be the end of replay number 1, but we still have one more replay to come. So let's move on to the final replay of this video. Okay, so here we are for the final replay on steps, and again there's no enemy light tank and no enemy artillery. No fun police in this game, so we're clearly using our CC hacks. Now what we're going to do initially is push down the 789 line, see what we spot, see if we can get any early damage in, and work out where the enemy team are playing and go from there. You know, there's a strong chance on steps with these spawns that a lot of the enemy tanks will push straight up to sort of the D12 area. And if they do so, I'm going to work out how many tanks are left this side and maybe push into towards their base to come behind them, or turn around, just work it out, you know, based on the information at hand at the time. But initially we're going to just try and just do, you know, carefully just spot this area. Sometimes some tanks cross and you can catch them out and get some early damage in here. But so far I haven't really spotted a lot, and as you can see there's already a few tanks spotted on the other side at the 1-2 line, and a tank which has gone down the centre middle road. So I'm going to kind of gather that there's not going to be too many tanks in this area at the moment. You know, probably the tanks which are sort of in their sort of base area you quite often get. But I don't think anyone has taken the 9-0, and I should be able to get all the way to the end, which will then put tanks like this heavy tank in a awkward crossfire. So I'm going to make that play a little bit, try and take some map control away from the enemy team, and see if we can get any shots in. You know, tanks like on the right hand side, like I say, if I get to the end, essentially they'll be forced to move, or I'll farm them. So they will. I'll make them have a decision to make. So I want to do that as early as I can because there's a lot of tanks down the 1-2. Although we do have enough tanks defending it at the moment, it looks like the enemy team do have the advantage over there. So I need to try and get involved in this game because I don't really want to lose both sides. If we lose both sides, we'll be in a little bit of trouble. So I'm going to try and initially get up onto this ridge. We have a medium tank with us. He might be able to spot for us. And you see these tanks here, which have just got detected. I should be able to have shots into them. I'm not detected, and I'm going to get an opportunity to put a shot into that medium and then pull back into cover. We also managed to pick up a little bit of assistance damage there as well for spotting those tanks. So it's worked out quite nicely, picking up about 1,000 assistance and 1 of penetration. Going to lose our spot and see if we've got any other windows to get some shots in. But I think those tanks have kind of moved back a little bit now because otherwise they would die from that location. So I'm going to progress forward a little bit using these ridges on the left to try and allow me to get forward more safely, if you like. And now I'm going to try and squeeze a shot in this E100. Now, typical German tanks, the engine at the front, we've gone straight through the drive wall and set him on fire, and picked up our second kill, our first kill of the game, and put us on about 2,000 damage. So that was a fantastic shot there. And then we got an opportunity to put a shot into the other enemy tank destroyer there, which we do, and we're in a good position to get shots in. Like I say, the one thing I've got to bear in mind is if we lose the 1-2 line, I may have to come back to defend the base or push forward enough to try and force the enemy team to come back, essentially. So there's just a few things which I'm going to have to decide, but at the moment I'm not any immediate threat of our base being capped. We have quite a lot of stuff defending our base. It's going to take a while for them to be able to do that. So I'm just waiting. We know there was an enemy tank destroyer on the right. He might poke. As you can see, our medium tank's pushing forward. He'll probably spot them. I'm going to make the cross here and I'll put a shot into him, but unfortunately for me, I then get slapped by a big TD in the distance, which has taken away half of our hit points in one shot. But maybe I could spin a little bit more patient. Wouldn't have lost that, but I wanted to try and get distance, get ground as quickly as I can, because as you can see, we've now lost the 1-2 line. So I'm trying to win this area as fast as we can, so that the enemy tanks have to come back to defend the base and it stops them attacking our base. So I'm going to try and see if we can get a shot into his TD. We do. We high roll and we pick up our second kill of the game there. Now our friendly tanks are going into the cap circle. I'm not just going to sit in that cap circle because the enemy tanks are coming back. I'd be an easy farm for the enemy team. I'm going to wait and cover our team here and try and get some shots in. As they try and make their advance, I should be able to get some shots in. I'm getting pinged by some of my team. I assume he's just letting me know my grid square location in case I forgot where I was. So yeah, really appreciate that one. And now we can try and cover our teammates. Unfortunately, our friendly T-62A does get shut down by the enemy Death Star. And I'm kind of thinking I might have to give up this area. Now, thankfully, my friendly team is pinging me again in this location just to let me know where I am, again, just in case I've got dazed and forgot where I was here. But what I'm going to try and do now, I think, as I say, our friendly Grill's making the right decision. He's leaving. He needs to leave because we're just going to have to accept that we've lost that battle there, but we haven't lost the game if we can get out of there. So I'm going to try and leave, do a retreat. Like I say, I'm not too concerned about base being capped because we do have 2 tanks, 3 tanks over there, and we split the enemy team here. There's at least 2 tanks I know of pushing us into our location. I'm trying to get out there as safe as I can. I didn't want to risk getting spotted as we escaped. I wanted to get to a ridge that if they pushed into the open I could try and get some shots in, but I don't feel comfortable staying there because I've just got a feeling I could be left a little bit isolated. So I'm trying to get to a safer spot. We do spot an enemy T-30. We opted to take the risk of shooting him and killing him. Thankfully we don't eat any damage from any other tanks which are in that location. Like I say, we know there's a tier 10 tank destroyer there, the Soviet tank destroyer, which we've got to be careful of because he's still very, very healthy. And this is a very close game at this point. Well, we're on 3 kills, 4,000 damage, 1,000 assistance. But it's been quite an enjoyable game in the sense that it's not completely one-sided, which is what you want. Let's say at the moment, we've got tanks which will notify us if they're going to try and cap us out. I'm not going to rush down at the moment because I'm trying to not have lose all the map control. At the moment we've got vision across a lot of the sides, so at minimum I'm holding one of the tier 10 tank destroyers at this point. So I don't see the urgency to go back to the base right now. I'm going to wait because that TD is kind of stuck there at this point. If he leaves, I should be able to get a shot into him, and we've got another friendly TD with us. Maybe we can double tap him. He's full health, so I'd like to get some shots in. He does leave, and you see he gets spotted, and we put a big shot in, high rolling for 727, put us onto 5,100 damage. Still in the 4 versus 5, still very close, but you see, although we have less tanks, well, we did have less tank, we do have the hit point advantage now on the enemy team. Our friendly E50 picked up a kill onto the one-shot object for Thankyou here. And now we're going to go back to that ridge and try and create that other angle. And like I say, with 3 of my tanks are defending the base, I want to just try and keep the vision aside. Maybe even get myself into position to potentially shoot the tanks in the middle. Say one of the TDs has now been spotted in the centre, in the riverbed in the middle of the map. I'm looking at there's only 5% hit points. A lot of these tanks have got to be one-shots. Now we spot an enemy Murat and an enemy medium tank here. Now we killed the enemy Murat, and this is why I didn't completely leave and just go straight back, because I wanted to try and keep an angle essentially, and it's worked out pretty well because we've now killed that Murat. Unfortunately clicked out our Valor, has put us on 4 kills here. Enemy Highlander's got spotted and got slapped, put onto a one-shot. Try not to shoot that shot in, hit the Highlander. Unfortunately, it doesn't connect. But we've got a one-shot medium, a one-shot Highlander, and then we've got the tank destroyer, which is on about 1,000 hit points left from memory. So we're in a good position. We can eat a shot of damage if we need to. But I'm just going to stay in this location now. Unfortunately, it's just left with me and the friendly E50 here. And we're just going to... I'm going to do a patient game. If the enemy team get in the cap circle here, then which you're not going to be able to get there with all the tanks, right? The Highlander's not going to be able to escape. It's going to take ages to get around there. He gets spotted. We're going to go for the kill shot. We do eat a big one off of the enemy TD, who is actually now a one-shot. I didn't notice. But so are we. But that means both of the enemy tanks remaining, I think, are one-shots. So that's good news. The enemy tank destroyer is ducked back down, so we are going to try and just take out this medium while we can. We do, and that puts us into the 2 versus 1. So me and our friendly E50 are a one-shot here, but we've got the 2 versus 1 scenario. He can't poke to shoot us without me killing him, because he's going to be able to poke around the rock first. I'm pre-aimed, I'll have to kill. So I've opted to cover our E50 at this point, because I thought the E50 is going to come in. If the TD pokes on the E50, I'll be able to pick up my 7th kill of the game and confirm this win. So I'm just going to try and cover him at this point. But I think enemy TD knows that we're here, so he's not poking. So I decided, you know what, I'll go in and help the E50. All what I need the E50 to do now is do what he's doing and don't poke. Like, do not poke until I've got there, because if you poke, you then put us into an awkward situation. If he stays where he is behind the rock, he's completely safe, because TD cannot come around and kill him without me shooting him, or without the E50 probably shooting him himself. So just stay patient. I'm trying to just let him know that I'm on my way, and I will just go into the riverbed, come behind him, and that way we can't lose the game. If he kills me, our E50 will be able to kill him. If he kills the E50, I'll be able to kill him. It's pretty much a concrete win at that point, as long as everyone, you know, just let's just get close enough. Now, I was hoping to get around here undetected. Unfortunately, I probably should have gone a little bit lower, because I got detected, which is cost myself the kill, but ultimately we still win the game because the TD turns on me, I back up, and that allows the E50 to kill him. And that brings us then to the video. It's not the biggest games I've had in this tank, but I quite like this replay because it was quite an enjoyable game to play. But we do get the Ace Tanker and the Top Gun medal. Yeah, thank you for your amazing support as always. If you like the channel, please remember to like and subscribe. And as always, happy tanking.
Enemy in sight. Hadouken!